Good morning to the people that hey excuses. You know that's just how I am. Go see the lady. Go sit on somebody's couch and talk about the things that are in the inside. My love comes with conditions. But anyway, how y'all doing? You want to talk about it? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever time of day this finds you. Salutations. Welcome to another episode of Want to Talk About It. And today's guest is little old me, Meka Carey. We will be talking all things Meka Carey. I will be answering frequently asked questions of me. So buckle up because you already know I'm going to give you the honest answer, okay? Ain't no use to me lying because people know me in real life. But let me tell you something about some of my jobs. First of all, I'm an entrepreneur. That's just it. I'm an entrepreneur. But under entrepreneur is I'm a business owner. I have a business called Love Sharing. It's a natural care product, great products from your hair to your feet. I am a comedian. I am a content creator. I create content for other people. I teach financial literacy because I have a backing in banking. Um, I build websites. The list goes on. I love to learn. Okay, so I know how to do quite a few things. So for the people that be getting mad at me because I don't get back with them in a timely manner, I'm sorry. Okay, as you can see, a bitch is busy. Okay, but I just wanted to give some insight, questions that I've been asked. Some of y'all already know the answers. Some of y'all will be surprised. So buckle up and let's interview myself. Okay, the first question I get the most is, "Girl, why you left your job?" I could just say mental health, but it's deeper than that. I loved my job. I loved serving the public. I loved my job. I loved my job until I didn't. Um, the pandemic hit. I was bored. And so I decided to start making body butter because the place that I was purchasing from was closed because of the pandemic. That's not her fault, but I still wanted my body butter because I refused to go back to lotion. Okay, she had put me on something. Secret Thompson, you had put me onto something, and I ain't want to go back. So I started making body butter, and I wanted to make a natural deodorant because if I'm gonna be away from people, why not go ahead and make the transition? You know what I'm saying? Because deodorant has started making me itch. It would burn when I would shave, and so I started reading about all the things as far as it contributing to breast cancer and things of that nature. And I lost a parent to cancer. So I was really trying to eliminate the things that would put those things in my body. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to make the transition. But since we were on house arrest, that's what it felt like. All I could do was go to work and come home. On house arrest, I decided to start making products. And I ended up taking a course online. I ended up ordering a book, and one thing led to another. I had made body butters, body oils, hair products. Okay, because I was already using the body butter for my hair, but it's like it was missing something. And so I came up with a formula specifically for this 4C hair because it be doing what it wants to. You know, it's real unruly and dry. And so I started making products specifically for natural hair. And that is how my three products were made. Something to cleanse your scalp, something to moisturize your hair, and something to help with the dandruff and the itching. And that's how my three products came. And what I noticed when I was making stuff and giving it away, a couple people asked me, "Well, how do I get more? Can I pay you to make me some?" And it was like, maybe I have a business. And I started the business, not thinking it was going to make me leave my job. It was just going to be additional income. But when I opened it up and saw how people were buying, the feedback I was getting, it was good products. It wasn't just something I was making. People were telling me they were using my scalp oil for eczema. People were telling me that they were using my facial oil on their hoo-ha. Yes. So I found out that women that have autoimmune disease and diabetes sometimes have flare-ups on their coochies. And so my friend ran out of her cream and she decided that she was going to use it there and woke up the next morning and her inflammation was gone. Okay. So when you get stories like that, you know you have a good product because it's natural. It's three ingredients, no more than five most times, except for my pain reliever except for my pain reliever. And so with that, I just started building them out. I started making price lists. I started getting into research. I'm a low key, I don't like the word nerd, but I am a researcher. I love to study, I love to learn. And then next thing I know, I had a business and I named it after my mama, Love Sharing, because of the natural. Again, trying to get away and eliminate all the stuff that they put in products. I wanted to start making my own. And then I decided to share the love with the rest of y'all. Hence the word love sharing. Like you're going, like a like a, I can't remember the name of it, but like you closing a letter, love, comma, sharing. So it's implied with love. Again, it was a side business. It wasn't meant to take over my life. With that being said, you keep on going through the pandemic, working shorthanded. People were really, really rude. Some of y'all I still see around Tuscaloosa, and I still be wanting to knock your head between the washer and the dryer. But because of God's grace and prison, I kind of just keep my hands to myself. But some of y'all are horrible people, okay? And I hope your inside of your ass itch for 40 days and 40 nights for causing people that were just trying to do their job strike. But people were ugly. I mean, I had somebody that spit on the window because we were drive through only. For those that don't know, I worked in banking. I was a branch manager. I stopped having these conversations like everybody know me for real. But I was a branch manager and I had been in banking for 15 years. So people consider that a good job. And it took care of my kids. So I ain't tripping. We had a great life because of that job, my career. But I was a branch manager, but people were just so ugly. And having to not only step up for my branch because we were shorthanded, I did every job in that branch except for teller work because I figured I was gonna mess up something because I hadn't been on the teller line in a while. And I even ran a drawer one day because we were just that short, but it was few and far between. But I just ended up getting miserable. And I remember I it was like June, July, I can't remember when we could start going back outside. We went to go visit one of my best friends in Arizona, me and another besties. I'm sorry, I got some circle of friends. All of them are the best friend. I ain't got just one. They all the best. That circle of women, they serve all different purpose. So one bestie and I went to see another bestie and we went to Arizona. And I don't like flying. Can't stand flying. I do it because it's a necessary evil. Because who got a day to drive to Arizona? Okay, so flying, I always pray, of course, and just to not only pray for a safe flight, but pray my nerves, my anxiety, all that other stuff. God, you got me. And I remember clear as day. You may as well get used to this. Wet. Didn't say nothing. Went on about my way. Again, I'm still happy with my job in June, July. I go visit my friend. Flight fine, 4 hours, flight's fine, visit my friend. We had a great time. We went over to Vegas, this, that, and the other. Came back home and it was just this pit in my stomach. I just hated going. I hated going. I hated being there. Mind you, I loved my job and I just hated it. And I remember talking to a really good friend of mine, Dantrell Robinson. I talked to him. He was in marketing at our branch, and he said, "Have you ever thought about maybe this is no longer your purpose?" And you know me, I'm a researcher, so you know about purpose and all of that. And I started reading, because your purpose can shift. You know, my purpose was banking because banking is a great income. I didn't have to go work at a plant and work different hours. Great, fortunately for me, I was able to get a job in banking where I had great hours, great pay, and low impact on my joints. You know what I'm saying? So I was very grateful for the opportunity without having a degree, getting into this place where I can make a great income, have insurance, all of that great stuff. So it had served its purpose because in 2020, my son also graduated high school. Okay. He graduated high school. And so this is my baby. I only have two kids, and the baby was graduating high school. Still my responsibility, but not as much. You know what I'm saying? So my purpose just instantly shifted, and I hated what I was doing. But how am I going to take care of myself? And so talking to God, talking to my friends, constantly in prayer. I kept waking up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, just kept waking up, just kept waking up. And I came up with the fact that I was going to leave February of 2022. You know, get a business a year. I opened up February 2021, so get a business a year, try to get it popping, and then I'll leave and focus on that. Well, I had something that happened at work while I wasn't there. And came to have a meeting on a Friday. Now Fridays are busy in banking. He wanted to have a meeting an hour before closing. Again, we're shorthanded, which was inconsiderate. Called me all the way over to another branch just to tell me my deficiencies in my job, but rolled for me while we were shorthanded. Thought that the world was coming back, and I felt like you thought the world was coming back to reality or being better, and then all of a sudden you want to tell me the things over the year you don't think I did right. But I begged for help. But I digress. I'm over that. Fuck them. So I cried. And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. If you make me cry, that means I want to flip over a table. He didn't hurt my feelings per se. It was just almost like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you? I've been asking for help. I've been telling you what's wrong. I've been telling you that things were going to go wrong because we were shorthanded. But I left, and I remember praying on my way home to pray away the offense because I was offended. My feelings weren't hurt, but I was offended. And so I asked for God to take that offense away from me because I didn't want to ruin my weekend. Well, when I woke up the next morning, I heard God's voice clearly tell me, I told you to leave. I didn't tell you to wait to February. I typed out in my notes my resignation and I went back to sleep. So, sending my resignation early that Monday morning, automatically got just one comment after another. And this is quick. When I got back from Arizona, this is what was a quick time span because I put in my notice for a month and they asked me for 6 weeks. So 6 weeks was the end of August. They asked me for 6 months, and I said, absolutely not. And so we settled on 6 weeks because I had a position. I had a branch manager position. I knew it was going to take a minute to fill it, and I did not hate them. Let me get it right. Let me go ahead and give Alabama One their shout out. I'm not upset with Alabama One. It was one person that pissed me off, and he came to apologize. He could have handled it better, this, that, and the other. So we're good. But Alabama One really helped my confidence and my knowledge because I was able to teach financial literacy there, which I had been doing since I started banking when I started at Wells Fargo. But they really put me on their platform. They allowed me to just be up front, in the front. I was teaching financial literacy after work, all different kind of things. I had my own 700 club where I could help people better their credit, help them get better interest rates, stuff like that. That's where me teaching the credit class comes from. So Alabama One as a whole was very good to me. I take nothing back from them, and I still tell people to go apply and work there because Alabama One as a whole don't owe me nothing. It was just one person, and again, we made peace. So I put in my notice, my 6 weeks. And the crazy thing about letting my staff know first before I even sent the notice, I already let them know that I had planned on leaving in February. So I had to come back and tell my people I'm be leaving a little sooner than that. And the reaction, they had me crying because water welled up in their eyes. I didn't know that I had been making that much of an impact. I thought I was a dope manager because I'm fair, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? That's like with my kids. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you ain't gonna hear my mouth. Now, when you get me to start asking questions I already know the answer to, that means you fucking up. Okay. So I ain't no micromanager. I believe you need to come in and do your job. And if I got to keep saying something, then we finna break up and see other people, because I shouldn't be having to tell adults to do their damn job. You know what I'm saying? So my staff, I love them. They love me. I even love my members. I I have been out and people say, I need you to go back to the credit union. I'm not. I'm out here free in the world. I can't go back. So yeah, I left my job because my children were grown. My purpose had been fulfilled, and it was time for the next thing. Okay. So the next question I get a lot is, girl, how you start doing comedy? This journey actually starts in 2012 for the people that have seen me prior to me coming back out here to 2021. No, 2022. For the people that just saw me come back out in 2022. Um, so So 2012, a friend of mine, Kim, told this young lady, Kalia Leo, y'all see me on flyers with her now. Kalia Leo, she was trying to do this thing called MILF. And so and she was raising, I think, for breast cancer. She was doing a charity event for breast cancer, and she wanted women that were real world women, not comedians, real world women that were funny. And at the time, I was cutting up on Facebook bad. And so when they originally reached out to me, I said, I'm Facebook funny. I'm not on stage funny. Now, I love comedy. Love it. I used to go to my sister's house every Friday. Yes, I do have siblings by my daddy. That's another story. But I go to my sister's house on Fridays because they had HBO when Def Jam Comedy Jam came out. I never missed the episode of Comedy View. Baby, when I got into comedy, Richard Pryor is my favorite comedian. Went to see him in the toy. I think I was 5 years old. First move I ever went to. Love comedy, love to laugh. And my family is naturally funny. So me being funny ain't a surprise to people around me. But being on stage, being funny is two different things. And I wasn't sure. But when I got asked, I really was excited but scared. So it took a little nudge, and I decided to go ahead and do it. I had a phenomenal time and I was nervous. But what surprised me the most is people were laughing. And I'm like, what I ain't doing but talk about these funky ass children. And you want to know what my first set was about? The fact that I had to leave my youngest son in charge of my oldest daughter. So my oldest has ADHD. So she does a lot of stuff that she can't help. And we all know when we have issues, that doesn't mean that you know you shouldn't get upset, but that doesn't mean you don't get upset. So my daughter will run bad water and walk off and just forget. If she don't stay, like, she has to stay in the room. She will be cooking some and boil the pot out. Okay. This child put noodles in the microwave with no water. That's my baby. Things happen. She get distracted. It is what it is. And with me not knowing more about the medicine, we tried to maintain it without medication because I was afraid of the medication. When they say that the medication may cause suicidal thoughts, do you want to get that to your child? But again, I wish I would have did more research, but that's neither here nor there. She's an adult now. She decides whether she wants to medicate or not. So my son would have to be at home with her, even though she was almost 7 years older than him. And so that's what I told about the stuff that she did and whatever else. And people were laughing because it's relatable with stuff about what these damn kids be doing, and people laughing. And so I would only do comedy with Khalil. Mind you, during this time, Steve Brown said the same thing. He noticed that I was funny. He wanted me to do Archibalds, and I was like, I don't want to do Archibalds. I like to come to Archibalds and watch comedy. I don't want to be on stage. So, um, 2012 would do it year to year. And I think the last time I did comedy was pre pandemic, and I bombed. Mhm. I bombed. I thought I was going by myself, but the person I was in a relationship at the time decided to come, and our relationship was on its last leg. Okay. And I'll never forget in Khalil, I'm sorry, but your mama and your auntie was heckling me, and me trying to hold restraint already, because y'all know how I talk to people, but how I sort of talk to her mom and her aunt like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they over talking, doing the most in the audience. Love them to death because they still love me to this day. But this just what happened. Um, Love them to death, but over talking, you know. I can't talk to them. I could have, but I didn't want to talk to them like that. Then on top of his ass sitting in the corner when I want his ass not to be there, whole thing off, I bombed. I was funny until I wasn't, and I walked off the stage. And I remember going on social media and saying something about somebody mad me, or I made light of it. Like I let the people know that I bombed, because you can't always tell people when things go good, but I still made it funny. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something rude and went on. But I bombed. And so I thought I was done, because it wasn't a career path for me. I was in banking. Okay. I was a branch manager at that time. So I don't need this. This ain't what I'm gonna do to feed my kids, because I still got children to feed. So 2022, I decided, oh, I really want to do this. No, I really want to give this a go. I ain't say I want to do this. I want to give it a go, because at this time I'm creating content, because I started creating content in 2021. My friend Dantrell that I mentioned, Dantrell Robinson, that I worked with, he helped me tremendously with my business. He created my logo. So the Love Sharon logo that you see, he created it. He created my labels. He helped me with some marketing ideas. I had a successful launch because of him. He was a really good friend, and he really helped me. I actually introduced him to his wife. So really, really great guy. October 2021, Dantrell died from COVID complications. And so I remember when he got COVID, we were texting, checking on him, and I hadn't heard from him all day. And then I heard through the grapevine that he had been hospitalized. And I'll never forget, he called me at like midnight or so on FaceTime. And he called me on FaceTime, and he was just telling me he was doing well. You could tell his breathing was kind of labored, but he was talking. He said he was doing well. His sugar levels had went up really, really high, and it had made him delirious, and that's why he had went to the hospital. He said he was fine. He was had a new leash on life. His birthday was at the end of October. He was gonna do this great birthday celebration. Sorry. He was gonna do this great birthday celebration, and how he was gonna live on purpose. And 24 hours later, I got a phone call, literally 24 hours later after midnight. And I remember Chanel, my friend Chanel, called me crying. She was boo-hooing, and told me and I knew when she was crying that he was gone. So that was October 2021. And so it just kept being what I heard him say, because he's the one that made me create content, by the way. So it's his fault. Y'all asses have to deal with me pretty much on a daily basis. He's the one who told me I needed to share my gift with the world, because I'm not looking at it as a gift at the time. I'm just looking at my ass just being just off the wall, and saying the most outlandish stuff. I didn't see it as a gift, but he's the one who told me over and over again it was a gift. Over and over. I mean, he even did headshots for me to go into comedy. So, and still put it off. And so I felt like I owed him in 2022 to try. And so Dantrell, that was for you. And I'm grateful that God placed him in my life, because you never know when you out here meeting people. This man made an impact in my life in a short period of time, because I met him in Alabama 1 once I got in management. This is 2018, 2019. I can't remember exactly. And in a few years, he made such an impact and was such a great person and so helpful to me. I felt like I owed him to try. And so I tried. I started doing open mics. TK Perry had an open mic night. He was trying to do it Spades. Shout out to Spades and TK. And I went, and the people laughed. And I said, okay. So I started doing open mics. People started booking me for events. And I got booked for New Year's by Joel Boogie Down for their New Year's Eve celebration. And he paid me. You know, we had already talked about payment. He paid me, and he said, "Do you want to do this on a regular at his spot?" Because it was, as a new comic, it's hard getting booked. You ain't gonna just get booked. You're gonna do a lot of free work. You're just not gonna get booked. So I was like, sure. And he followed up with me and started in February of that 2023. I produced my first comedy show. Now, mind you, I've been doing events for years. But putting on my first comedy show, I had Dorcas, shout out to Dorcas. She sung, Kiva came and did poetry. I did an outfit change. Kalia performed. It was great. Who else performed? Did anybody else perform comedy that night? I know Kalia did. If I forgot, I'm so sorry. But that was my birthday celebration, and I sold out literally in a week and a half. Shout out to Tuscaloosa. I sold out in a week and a half, and we had Tank DJ. Y'all, Tank gonna be with me. Demetrius Irvin, y'all might as well know that he gonna be with me. You know what I'm saying? His wife has accepted it. That is one of my best friends. Okay, so y'all can stop saying that anybody is sleeping with Tank. Me and Tank ain't never touched each other. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. We have been friends since I was 16 years old. He ain't going nowhere. Y'all can continue to talk how y'all want to talk, but that man is my dog. That's my brother. He gonna be with me wherever I go. When I make it, make it. When I get out there, Tank, y'all ain't gonna even be able to get him on y'all book. So y'all better book him now. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But Tank DJ, and it just went there. I started having them on a regular basis. And then Steve reached out to me to do the start on to open for him. He let me do all 5 shows. All 5 shows. And I did it. And when I tell y'all to turn out and the people telling me I was funny, now mind you, I still didn't think I was a comedian. Just remember that little nigga. I didn't think I was a comedian at that time. I still just thought I was doing it, trying to. I would say trying, and but it was great. You know, I got great feedback from Steve, and he didn't really have anything negative to say. It was just pointers on how to do this, how to make the joke land, this, that, and other. Because one thing about Steve, he has a great stage presence, and he has been doing this since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. This man has been making cavemen laugh. So Steve knows comedy. And so who else to have mentor you than Steve Brown? And so a lot of stuff that he has told me to this day, I have stuck with it. It's just as far as your time and landing, waiting on the people, not getting upset when the joke don't land, how to move on. Steve has been a phenomenal mentor. And so Steve allowed me to be at the start on and open for him for all 5 of his shows. Since then, I have hosted for him. Hosted for him twice. So shout out to Steve by getting me on that start on stage. Since Steve put me on that start on stage in 2023, I have been on that stage probably 10 times, going back May 9th. Okay. So shout out to Steve Brown. But yeah, that's why comedy, because it's in me. It's a part of my purpose. And I do have a gift. Again, I've been making folks laugh for years, just regular conversation. But that was just me. And if you knew my mama, if you knew my uncles, if you knew my aunties, you would know. Even my cousins, something wrong with us. We're gonna turn trauma into funny. We just that's what we gonna joke. We're gonna be at funerals joking. We don't know how to act in public, and there's a lot of black people. Okay, we make trauma into laughter, and I'm just grateful for that. Grateful for the gift. So that's why comedy. And shout out to Dantrell Robinson. You'll never be forgotten. Um, Another question I get here lately is, girl, why you close your business? First of all, I temporarily closed my business. Y'all are going over the temporarily closed. Love Sharon is coming back, and you want to know why Love Sharon is coming back? It's because Love Sharon has great products, okay? And I'm the great product maker. But for 4 years, I have not been off from Love Sharon. I am Love Sharon. When I be saying we, ho, I'm talking about me. And Kira Ash, because Kira does make my flyers, my marketing. She does a lot of stuff for me. Sometimes I could just mention something to Kira and I got a flyer. So, but other than that, and my kids helping from time to time, it is me. And I hadn't took off from four. I'm talking about on my birthday in the Bahamas, my 45th birthday, I was running a sale. Okay. I remember a girls' trip went awry, and Neek, my niece Neek told me to do a girls' trip sale, and I did. Like, there is no time off. And I needed time off because dealing with people will wear you out. And I was dealing with people in the comedy, I'm dealing with people doing the websites. I'm dealing with people when I'm subbing because I have to supplement my income. Um, I'm just always dealing with people, and I needed a break because y'all will wear a bitch out. Okay, let's talk about stuff you don't do with a business owner. Okay, um, reaching out to them at 2 o'clock in the morning in their DM versus sending them an email. Love Sharon got an email address. Love Sharon got a website. Um, Instead of sending an email or a direct message to the shop inbox so you can get an automatic message and they can get back with you doing business time. You send a message at 2 o'clock in the morning, ask me about some pain reliever. Is y'all okay? And get mad because I ain't answered until business hours because you saw me up on Facebook. Baby, that green light is and almost got some of y'all blocked. That green light don't mean I'm up for conversation. It just mean I'm up at the moment. I got menopause. I'm gonna be up like that, but I don't be wanting to talk to people. Um, but you have to handle all that stuff with grace because people could not be reaching out to you. But at the same time, God, like y'all got some decorum, some sense. So with that being said, my patience was getting short. um, I decided to take a break from it. And plus, I need to re-legalize little Sharon because she ain't legal right now. Re-legalize her, revamp, pay some old invoices, and then we're gonna come back harder. We got new bottle designs. I got new pictures to upload. Yeah, I gotta take new pictures because I got a loose natural on my promo pictures. I just gotta redo everything. But in the meantime, if you want to learn more about Love Sharon, go to Love Sharon to the About tab and watch my YouTube video. Santo and Stone did a great video for me, just talking about my business and some stuff background with this. So shout out to the now defunct Two Tone Cinema. They're no longer together, but shout out to them. I still love Stone and Santo Moss to death. They've been ride with me, helping me do stuff, and I will continue to work with those men. But yeah, if you want to learn more about Lil Sharon, go to my About page. But for right now, everything on that show sold out except for merch. I do have Meka Carey merch on the Lil Sharon website. I ain't put it out there yet because I'm still trying to get the coffee cups design, but I finally got them designed with properly with it on both sides, because when I got the sample ones, it was like on the front of the cup. And who drink coffee like that? You know what I'm saying? Like the fuck them people coffee cup is out there and it's on both sides. They want to talk about it cup, and I want somebody to look at me like I look at coffee. So I have 3 coffee cups out there with different sizes. So it's on my merch tab. But yeah, that's why I temporarily closed my business. I didn't close my business. I temporarily closed it. And for anybody that has reached out to me about wanting product, and I told you I was gonna make it, I am. But y'all gotta give me time. You got to realize why I closed it, because I didn't have time. So I'm gonna get it. I don't know when. I'm gonna try. I'm not held to the same regulations as my um website 17 business days. This is just transactional, and I ain't had the time. I may find it next week. I don't know, but when I get it, I'll let you know. Okay, but temporarily closed. It ain't closed, oh, temporary closed. Um, I always get asked what's next. Um, God knows. Right now, I am really just doing the work. Last fall, I had no clue all that stuff was going to implode. The Chicago, the Toronto, I had no clue. I just told God, I worked toward, made a list of things I wanted to do. I wanted to be on a comedy festival. Boom. Start researching, got put on a comedy festival. I wanted to travel more. Boom. Found ways to travel more. Um, Me and God talk. I pray. I faith without works. I do the work. and he provide the blessing. That's all I got. It sounds simple, and it really is. The work part is the hard part, because I'm working where I have to motivate myself. As you can see in my room, I do most of my content in my room. Now that I'm getting into skits, I shoot my own skits. I'm editing my own skits. I'm shooting my own podcast. I'm editing my own podcast. Everything is done by me. And I try to meet my deadlines. Like, my podcast is supposed to go up every Saturday. We're going to say it's going to go up every Saturday and Sunday. Okay? It's going to go up every Saturday and Sunday because um, sis tired. Sis tired, okay? And sis be doing a lot, and sis needs some grace. So please give me a grace. My plan is to have the skits of therapy sessions up on Sunday, the podcast on Saturday. Sometimes it's gonna be like a little 24-hour delay, but I'm coming. He don't come when you want, but he always on time. So yes, what's next is a comedy special July 12th. Some of you guys will get a special invitation because there's not going to be tickets sold. No tickets sold, but I will be asking for donations for Stillman because it will be shot at Stillman. But there will be no tickets sold. It will be invitation only. So look out for your invitations July 12th. Comedy special. And if you can't come, say that, because though do not deny somebody else a seat. Okay, you're not denying anybody else a seat, and I will be asking for money from some sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Girl, do a commercial for you. If you don't realize, my social media get a lot of engagement, so I will be reaching out some of y'all. For borrow my time for some money. That's it. It's an even trade off. You get commercial space with Meka Carey, and I get a little change in my pocket because I do have an overhead. I got a film crew. I got a DJ Tank, of course. I got a photo booth. I got to put out some marketing material because I'm shooting it to go on Amazon Prime directly, and we're gonna see how this goes. But we shooting a comedy special in July, so there be it. That's what's next. And trying to get on a tour. My plan, and me and God talked about it, is for me to be booked on a tour by the end of the year. And the way he been showing out, it gonna happen. I believe it now. All you got to do it a few times. Faith, some work. The work is the hard part. That's what y'all don't understand. The work is the hard part, and I don't mind putting in the work if I can get my regular back too. So that's what's next. And another thing I get asked about, what has been the toughest thing about this transition from work to working for myself? The toughest thing is trusting God and me. Those have been the toughest thing. And I say that because when you have direct deposit, I have been working since I was 16, but I really started working before then because I've done odd and ends jobs. I started doing taxes when I was younger. So money, I've always done work for money, but I officially was on somebody's payroll at Sonics, where I met Tank and Jimbo them. um I have been working since I was 16, and then I became a mother at 19. So I had to have a direct deposit, regular money that coming in or whatever. And so the toughest thing was trusting me when my savings got blown, and trusting God that things were going to be right, because it was tough. It was tough, and not being able to help my children, because you got to know that sometimes your test, sometimes um, your trials don't necessarily have anything to do with you. It has to do with the people around you. And I solely believe that God tearing up my financing had something to do with me as a mother, because as long as I had it, my kids weren't gonna suffer. They weren't gonna struggle. And because I didn't want my kids to struggle, but unfortunately they needed to struggle in order to be more self-sufficient, because I was handicapping them. And my son told me to my face that I was a crutch, and it hurt my feelings, and I wanted to swing on him, because how you gonna tell me all I want to do is help you? But he was true. I was holding him back from being the man that he is becoming. And God had to tie my hands in order for me to allow my kids to grow up. My daughter too, because my daughter and my grandson is here. She gets a lot of help, but that also can be a handicap. And me closing my hand, messing up my financing, messing up my finances, was not only a lesson for me about trusting, but it also was tying my hand to help my kids grow up. Because I was just thinking today, we went through a period, three people in the house, and we had no vehicle. My daughter car, um, my daughter went without a vehicle for a while. My truck was the only one that was being driven by three people. It went downhill. Nobody in the house had a car. I have a really good friend that allowed me to use their car for a short period of time. But of course, they wanted their car back. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Because they didn't have to let me use it at all. But we went without a vehicle for months. And so now everyone in the household has a vehicle. Well, my son lives with his father now, but that's his story to tell. And it was nothing bad, just redirection, something he need to do for himself. And I'm so glad to even have um for him to have such a great father. My ex-husband and I, we have been co-parenting since he was 3 years old, and we still co-parenting with him 22. And so his dad had never has not stepped up, never has not stepped up. Even with him being an adult, he still steps up for his son. So shout out to his father. But for everybody to have a vehicle after the tough months that we went through, to see him working and getting promoted at his job and thriving, my daughter thriving in motherhood and getting her things straight and seeing her life balance out. I really do more than ever understand now why God tied my hands with that, because I had a significant savings. I didn't come out here with no little bit of money. I came out here with a plan, and my house ate it up. So I say this to anybody that is trying to step out on faith. Just know your faith will be tested. And sometimes your lessons ain't even about you per se, like the lesson was for me, but sometimes your lesson gonna spread to other people around you, and you got to see the bigger picture. Because I had really up last year, right before everything started really breaking, baby, I had dusted off my resume. I finna go back to work. I finna move out of Tuscaloosa. Hell, I was thinking about going to stay in Arizona, get me a remote job in banking, and just cool my heels and work Monday through Friday and be off every weekend like I was used to. But everything started breaking before I started sending out their resume. I'm talking about it's updated and everything, but God was like, that ain't what I told you to do. And so things really started turning around. But that some of them lessons, some of them tough lessons was about me, and some of them tough lessons was about my parenting. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do for your kids. I still, if I can, will do what I can for my kids, but they really needed to grow up. They did, and unfortunately, he had to burn up my money in this house. Because, baby, when I tell you, I, this house is old. It's updated, but it's old. And a lot of the plumbing and the pipes are old. Hindsight, I wish I would have put more money in fixing those things, but I had no clue. I was more in gutting the house and redoing it, but I didn't know anything about the pipes and didn't even put them in consideration. So between the water line being replaced, between the washing machine line, now I got to get some other stuff. The furnace is old. It's a bunch of stuff that's just old in here that was just causing me chaos and sucked up my savings. Okay. But that's neither here nor there, because God provides. I'm still here. I still have my health. I still have my house. And I was able to get those things fixed. And so that's what I'm gonna be grateful for. So yeah, that's been the toughest, just tying my hands and can't help my children. But it's been the best thing that could happen. So it did work out for my good. Again, if you don't believe in God, that is perfectly fine. This is not a push for me. At my house, we believe in God, and we know that He provides and He keeps us. So yeah. Um, Close it out with, what would you tell someone that's trying to do what I'm doing? Baby, if you ain't listen to this podcast, if you don't listen to nothing else, baby, your faith better be strong. Whether you manifest, you pray to Buddha, Allah, or whoever you pray to, your faith better be strong, or your faith in yourself better be strong. Okay, whoever you believe in, if you believe in nothing, you better have faith in something. But you better believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, and you need to be good at it, and you need to try to be good at it. When I get online, and saying the stuff that I say, most of it be off the dome. But at the same time, I'm very mindful of landing my jokes and giving them a time and seeing what's funny. A lot of times, y'all will see stuff I do on stage after I've said it online, because if it lands, if you repeat it, that lets me know that it's funny and it's relatable, and then I'll carry it on stage and try to perfect it out there with the timing, because I actually have real people in front of me versus online. So whatever if you're trying to step out and you want to do something, you want to be in entertainment, you better be good at it, and you better be want to do the work, and do not get caught up in people liking you. Please don't get caught up in people liking you. This is a fickle business. Okay, it is fickle. Find your tribe, find your people, be good, and be okay with people letting people go, because people will come and go. When you see them not doing you no good, or you see that they hateful, or you get good or something, they start, get away from them. Get away from them. But you have to put in the work with whatever you're doing. If you want to be a business owner, you're gonna have to put in the work. You're gonna have to lose some sleep. You're gonna have to lose free time, because you ain't gonna be able to go to every brunch. You ain't gonna be able to go to every dinner. You're not gonna be able to go on trips with your friends like you was. You're gonna have to sacrifice your time with friends and family if this is something that you want to do. But you gotta put it in the work, and please be good with it. Be funny to more than just your friends and your family. Let somebody outside be able to tell you, or that you are good at singing or good at rapping or whatever else. Do not, I know my friends say I'm funny all the time, but somebody else had to tell me, okay? Because I didn't think that I started saying that I'm really a comedian. Homecoming, that first homecoming, I think, was it homecoming of 2023, when I got on that stage, and the way some of y'all hollered for me, and the way y'all was laughing, and my friend Michelle Coley gonna tell me, "Oh, bitch, you funny for real." I knew I had made it. And my cousin Jeff, when I met entertain people that I know for real, and they laugh, I knew I had made it. I was an actual comedian. So yes, if you want to do it, make sure you are really trying to do it. Make sure you are doing the research, and make sure you are doing open mics. It's for my comedians. Make sure you're doing open mics. Make sure you're practicing, 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 practicing. And do not expect big paydays in the beginning. If you're getting in it for the money, bitch, you in the wrong position. Okay? The money will come, but you got to first prove that people need to be paying you money. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to a job, you get trained and get paid, but this is gonna be some on the job training with no money, and you got to be okay with that. Okay, you got to be okay with that. So for you new comedians that be having these absorbent fees and don't realize why you're not getting booked, because they don't know if they're gonna recoup their money. It's a business. These folks got to know they're gonna recoup their money. Can't nobody afford to pay you and nobody come to see you. Ain't nobody gonna pay the lights to be on, and they don't know if anybody gonna take the time to leave their house to come see you. You have to make yourself a brand. You have to make yourself a product. You are being sold. And if ain't nobody buying the tickets, then who the hell you think gonna pay you? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, thank you for anybody that made it to the end of this interview. Thank you. Next week we will resume our guest, because I know y'all ain't gonna want to tune in or listen to me talk every week, because here I can't stand just hearing me talk. But I appreciate y'all. I love you. And until next week, this is Want to Talk About It.